If you've ever taken even one jazz drum lesson, then you've learnt this pattern. I mean, of course you have, it's literally the basis for the phrasing, but you might have noticed that if you're a beginner, when you play it, it doesn't quite sound the same as when your favourite drummers do. So today, I'm going to teach you the one thing that after teaching thousands of hours of in-person drum lessons, I've seen make the biggest difference to beginner jazz drummers' ride feel, enabling them to feel confident to get up at London jam sessions and to start playing in jazz ensembles, so that you can do the same thing and also swing like a king. So, all you need to do is keep your quarter notes locked in on the ride cymbal. Add your left foot in on beats 2 and 4, and then this is the money maker. Experiment with whereabouts you place your skip note. Phrased exactly on the triplet, you're going to get a looser and more laid back feel. Whereas played a little tighter and closer to the next downbeat, you'll get a real sense of urgency and attitude. Depending on how far you push it, you could write the skip note as a 30-second note, but realistically, people are still just going to write it as triplets, even when phrasing it this way. And sometimes drummers will just keep it on that classic triplet placement, like Jimmy Cobb on Miles Davis' Freddie Freeloader. But what he does to keep the groove driving forward is accent the quarter note a little more. And sometimes he'll even drop out the skip note altogether, so you can experiment with creating different phrasing between playing quarter notes and playing triplets. But at other times, drummers like Art Blakey on his own track Moanin' might swing that skip note a little bit harder like this. If I play a straight up 8th note triplet single stroke roll on my ride cymbal at the same time as the track, have a listen to how it clashes with the feel of Art Blakey's drums. What you'll notice is that my ride will start to flam with the skip note in the track. It almost works, but not quite. Really, the skip note should be pushed like this. It's a subtle difference on first listen, but it really does have a massive impact on the feel. Even the way he phrases the snare drum before the downbeat of 2 and 4 is played that little bit tighter and closer to the downbeat to give it that extra bit of attitude. That groove goes hard, mate. And then check out Philly Joe Jones on Milestones. This has got to be the bounciest ride feel I've ever heard. It's all tight and floaty with the perfect amount of swing in the skip note. Imagine if it was played like this. It just doesn't quite work the same. You want to squeeze that skip note a little closer to the downbeat to give it that extra bit of bounce. And don't get me wrong, there are of course other factors at play here. For example, dynamics. You don't want to play the skip note too loud, otherwise it will sound like this. And you certainly don't want to accent beat 1 and beat 3, otherwise that would sound like this. Just try and play your ride cymbal at a volume where it sits nicely with the other musicians that you're playing with. Typically, you want to play your left foot nice and snappy, and then your snare drum and your kick a little bit lower in the mix. Of course, you could also play accents on any part of the kit and experiment with playing different textures, such as playing buzz strokes on the snare or hitting your ride on the edge of the cymbal with the shank of the stick. And then importantly, take your go-to phrasing and experiment with playing your ride cymbal perfectly on the triplet, and for contrast then play that skip note a little closer to the next downbeat and see how it impacts the feel, see what you like the sound of, and then importantly, see what sounds best for the music that you're playing. And once you're feeling confident with this and you're swinging like an absolute demon, then it's time to start working on adding some comping into your phrasing. So you can watch this video here to take some inspiration from the best. And if you'd like to start learning bop with me, then there's also a link in the video description to the Your Intro to Bebop course, where you'll learn everything that you need to know to go from having never played bebop before to feeling confident to start playing in jazz ensembles. And I'll catch you in the next one.